Hello YouTube, welcome to Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. I'm Ronnie Humphrey as always. Yes, I'm still alive. Appreciate you joining us today. We're going to do a little work on the modified today. We're going to see if we can build a radiator mount, plus give you an update on some of the other projects we've been doing around the shop. So stay tuned. Well, as you know, on a couple episodes ago, we paved our little go-kart track, and since that time, we made a few changes to our carts. I actually bought this little cart here for my grandson, Reed. He's 5 years old. He drove it for the first time last Friday night. Those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you can go and see that video. It was pretty nerve-wracking at first. He didn't want to do it, but then once he got in it, he didn't want to stop, and that's what I was hoping. This is a little kid's car, real short wheelbase. You can see how much smaller it is than my cart over there. But hopefully he will continue to enjoy it. This little thing was pretty fast. I couldn't believe with the little Honda motor on it. But little bitty cart, works good. One thing, I went and bought me a new set of asphalt tires. I hadn't run it yet with them. Plus I got me a new chain. Got to get that on. But excited to get these new cart tires on the track, the asphalt. I went and ordered them with 2.5 inches of stagger. I tried dirt tires at that stagger and it worked very, very well. So we're going to continue with that 2.5 inch stagger. And these will be pretty good, I think. So we'll try that. Also picked up this one last Sunday after church. I headed down to New Orleans real quick. Got this one for my oldest grandson, Ryder. Ryder, I guess he's 7 or 8 now, but he's growing like a weed. So that one being so little, got this one. This is actually a full-size road racing cart. Last night I went here and we, buddy of mine, Michael Hudson, came over and helped me. We narrowed the wheelbase up in the back. I still would like to get this right rear end a little bit, but try to narrow this thing. These things are so wide, these road racing carts, but just for him to learn and get away from this Napa cart. He told me Saturday, said he was looking forward to having something that he could see better without being stuck down inside the body like he had on his little Napa cart. So that's where we are on the go-karts. I'll go out there and show you something else we did here as well. Well, we also laid down a bunch of sod. It's a little bit around the outside of the track, but did a whole bunch on the inside, you can see. And we installed a new flagpole. Got that up this past weekend, and got the American flag going up there as well with the checkered flag. And that's a 30-foot tall pole. Did a lot of research on them and went with this company. It's like $300, but thought it'd be a little nice addition. Once we get the grass growing out here, get over we can mow, I think it'll look pretty nice. So there you go. So let's go inside and see if we can get on this modified now. Well, as you can see, Ryan has all the decking on now, and it's pop rivets down. He does such good work, it's incredible. We've got our new filter system up there, seats mounted, seat belts are in, all the digital gauges are in, got the motor in. We're having trouble with our left side header clearing, the way this chassis is built. And Dennis Schoenfeld up at Schoenfeld Headers, he's helping me out. We're actually on our 3rd header. We tried 2, but now we know what we need to do. This sweeps needs to go in there, and as I say, 3rd time's a charm. So we got the steering shaft pulled out until we get that header in there. But got everything here in this box from Speedway pretty much to plumb everything up, and got this header here, no problem on this side. But we were hoping to make it out to practice here by this time, but we just hadn't had a chance. We're just so busy with work and try to work on this thing whenever we can. So anyway, let's see if we get the new radiator out of the box and see if we can figure out how we're going to mount it. We're going to pretty much just put a strap across there and something across these tabs across top. It'll be pretty simple, but let's see if we can get that going. right here. We got one aluminum radiator here. I went in and ordered a double pass. We're running gas, not alcohol. If I was on alcohol, we could just run a single pass. Get a tape measure here and see how wide we want this bottom tray to be. About 26 inches. First thing we're going to do, we're going to make sure it goes in and clears the frame rails, and it does. So let's see if we can get this tray built and start off there. Well, I was looking in my scrap bin, and I have this aluminum left over from a trailer project. If you remember back a year and a half ago, we did that extreme trailer modification where we did the custom trailer, open trailer. And this is some of the wall studs that were left that we didn't use. And this is perfect, fits in there just right. So we'll get the measure from there to there. That'll lock it side to side. Then we will simply mount it with the 1/4 inch bolts there in those two tabs there, and then I'll locate from side to side plus front to back. Then we'll make the top a little more secure. So let's see if we get this bottom measured and cut. Okay, we got our aluminum piece made here. Well, I tell you what, that double-sided tape that they use to attach the aluminum side of race car trailers is unbelievable. It's good stuff. Anyway, we'll go ahead and cut this. I hate to cut my protection off, but we got to. See if this will fit in there. There we go. So, all we have to do now is just measure, figure out where we want to put this. We'll probably just center it on the frame, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll mount the top to determine where the radiator is going to sit. Okay, kind of hard to see, but have a 2x4 spacer there in between the water pump pulley and the radiator, and that way I can determine the spacing that I want. I don't want that tank right up against the frame. Now we'll simply take a marker and we'll mark the bottom where we want to put our holes. It's not going to be quite centered in the middle of that tubing, but it'll be good enough to do this side here. And that gives us room for the brake line over there, and still plenty of room to be able to get the radiator hose on the bottom. So get it all back down and know where to drill our holes at now. Okay, let's got the bottom in. I'm gonna dimple that with a hammer just so it won't be rubbing against the frame rail. Plus we're gonna put a little bit of a cushioning, one-sided cushioning tape in there as well. Okay, there we go. And I wish this thing was sitting about a 1/2 inch lower, but it shouldn't be an issue with the hood whenever he builds it. That ain't gonna make that much difference. But anyway, we'll let that sit there now. We'll figure out how we're gonna do this strap right here. I think we're gonna try to build, I don't wanna block off any air, but we'll probably just build a bin one piece here. We'll put some air holes in it out of flat aluminum and fasten to the front. Is probably what we're gonna do. So I also wanna measure the distance of the fan on top and bottom, make sure we're in the center of the water pump. All right, just to kind of rough out a piece here, we're going to put a 1-inch lip on it. Then we'll come down at an angle. Looks like about 8.5 inches. We'll start off there, and we'll just go really about 8.5 by 12.5. So let's see if we can find a piece of aluminum. I hope we'll try to use some silver on this. Went to the scrap pile and found this really thick piece of aluminum. This is probably 1/8 inch at least. I don't know if I can cut this or not. We're going to try. We already got it laid out. Wow, that's tough stuff. But that's what we want. We want something strong. I hope I can do this with the little brake. We'll just start about a 45 first. Woo, it's gonna be tough. All right, we're gonna try this. Oh, man. I can tell you, I need to go more already. Okay, let's go ahead and try that. All right. Okay, that'll work. We may have to actually take some of this bend out when we put this bottom one in, but I have to lose my block back there. Come back about 1.5 inches and we'll put another breaker on the bottom, and I'll be right back and we'll show what that looks like. All right, let's see what we got here. Y'all would never believe that I got that on the first try. Look at that. Flush up here and good on the bottom. That looks good there. So I think I'm gonna trace this bottom and make it match these frame mounts here on the cage. Get that about the same on each side. So I'll trace that out and we'll figure out how we're gonna cut that, and then we'll go from there. All right, we got this cut out roughly. I've got to come back and straighten this edge up a little more, get it square. Just temporary clamp it on here. Okay, that'll work. Now we'll take a marker and mark the bottom. As soon as I get my marker, I left it over in my other room. All right, that gets that done. I'll probably come back and go all the way to this break here. That way give me a nice, easier line to go against. It's hard to keep that straight. But we'll drill those 2 holes. Then we'll also come back and mark these, and we'll finish all that and show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, this is where we at. Got this bottom piece bolted in here. I'm going to use these studs. These are 1/4 inch studs with a fine thread and coarse thread on each side. And I'm going to do it that way so we can take it off from either side if we have to. Plus, we'll put a spacer here in the middle, a piece of round tubing on each side to support that. So get that done, holes drilled, get the spacers in there, and we'll show you what it looks like. Well, here is what we ended up with. Very pleased with it. I'm gonna come back and probably punch 3 big holes, probably like a 3 inch or 2.5 or so across there. We'll do that with a hole puncher so it looks nice and get a nice radius. used some spacers here, made those out of some old shifting rods, and that gives it support so it's not just pulling off one side. It's a mistake some people just try to mount off of one. You want it to be solid, pulling off of both sides with a spacer in the middle. Measured the water pump shaft, and we are right in the center of the radiator, so that worked out real good. So that's where we're at, and we will go ahead and finish up a couple of things. Got some plumbing to do still, but we're making a little progress. Well, as always, I greatly appreciate you guys joining me today. A little project there. We've got a lot of little projects still to go, but we're getting closer, very close to getting this thing on the track. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. And we'll see you next time on Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. God bless you. You take care.